Welcome to my channel, The Way to Succulents, The Way to Happiness. In this video, you will see 5 different types of ground covers. I lucked out to live next to the water, but I also have headaches along the long shoreline where I have many problems. First of all is the erosion, and secondly is the weeds control. So during the last couple of years, ever since I started to collect succulents, I saw out the problem. For example, right in front of me, you see these little baby plants. They are the best ever ground cover. They are commonly called watch chain. They are hardy. I live in Wisconsin, June 5. It's so cold in the winter time. The low temperature sometimes would go down to -30 Fahrenheit, which is close to -30 centigrade. But I never worry about these plants. I don't need to dig them out and store them and replant them. They are sitting there all winter long. They were covered by the snow and they would just come back the next spring. Like this piece in front of me, I pull it out and I don't need to plant into the soil. What I do is I just put on the top of the soil. They will root themselves. Eventually, they will grow as healthy as the rest. Isn't that amazing? You may see how much colder it can bear. If you live in the US, June 4, it can also tolerate the coldness there. But I'm not sure about cold like June 2 or 3. I got those from a friend of mine and she wanted to plant tomatoes. But these guys kind of choke the other plants. And then she said, oh, I couldn't have them anymore. I said, perfect, I will take over. And you see, actually, it helped a lot. There are not many weeds, just a few. Because of their spreading ability and growing strength, they eventually choked other plants to die. That's amazing, isn't it? The second type of ground covers we're seeing are hang on the cheeks. Look at these beautiful roses. Oh my God, I just love them. They are called sempvivum by botanical name, but for me, easily called hang on cheeks. What happened is, for example, the baby green one right in front of me, I just separated them from some of the mother plants. Then just put them on the top of the soil. Eventually, they will grow as big as these guys. These actually were only a third of the present amount. Last year, I separated them in the spring, and then they just spread and grow. So I have more and more. Like, for example, this one here, I separated the chicks. It's very easy. You can just pull out. And the good thing about it, there is a long stem. You can just let the stem sit. You don't need to dig a hole and put the stem into. But because it's raining, I don't want the rain to fall onto the freshly cut stem. So I use the oyster shell to cover this stem or root. So I will give it some time to get fully callous, then eventually it will root itself. But different from the first watch chain, you see they are scattered around, so there would be space for the grass, especially this annoying crabgrass. Their roots are spreading like quite a good space, so it's really bad. This is the beauty. Look at the color, especially in the early spring or in the late autumn when the temperature is quite different for the day and night. You will see beautiful color of these hang on the cheeks. In the summertime, they do bloom. Look, this is a dead stem from the bloom. And the best thing about hang on the cheeks, they are monocarpic. Once they bloom, the mother plant die, but not the babies. The babies can always be separated and then replanted. The third type come into our eyes are these golden moths. Oh my God, I just love the color. You see, actually, they are not really dense because I cut them quite often this spring to use for this and that purpose. Otherwise, it will be like a golden carpet. The fourth step come into our eyes are the dragon blood. Look at these. They are one type of sedum. Some of the color are really like a red and yellowish. Just like I said before, in the spring and late autumn, when the temperature difference is big, they will show you their beauty. They do bloom too. Different from hang and chicks, they don't die out after the blooming. Here comes the fifth type I'm sharing. This is awesome. It's edible. Isn't that amazing? Not all the succulents are edible, but this is. And to separate them is like I can pull the green growing out, but there are some stems too. I can just put them the one onto the soil and they will root. They are good to use as ground cover, but you can also grow them in a hanging basket. They will trill down and it's quite pretty. Now let's have a closer look. They do die out in the winter time, but the next spring they just come back. It's quite interesting, but all the rest that I shared before, they don't die out, they stay. They just be covered under the snow and then go to dormant. Another advantage for all these ground cover I shared, they are also animal resistant. Not only by my dog, like deer, ducks, geese, whoever come to my land, rabbits, they don't eat them. The number 6 here is not ground cover, it's a type of yucca. Some yuccas are hardy, some are not. This is another hang and chicks. I will spread all around because you see here, the former house owner, they used the fabric to cover the shoreline. Every beginning, I used the red mulch to cover the section. It did help, but each year I need to add more mulch and it's very expensive. So, the number 7 you are familiar is the evergreen, is creeping juniper. It's a pretty one, but it's quite expensive. I first planned to use these as the shoreline cover, but definitely it's not ideal because the shoreline I have is way too long. The length of our waterfront is around 3,000 feet long, and each juniper can cover 6 feet, which means I need 500 junipers, and each one is $50. That's 25,000. That's way too much, and it's only cover the center, not the whole piece of the shoreline. So I spread the golden mouse here and there, you see. And hopefully next year when I take the video to show you again, and you will see it's fully covered by this beautiful succulent ground cover. Like here, this section is beautiful. I don't need to worry about weeding. I don't need to worry about erosion. But you see it's quite messy. You know, I live in Wisconsin. The weather is still cold, just a couple of days it snowed. So I will leave it, let the wind to play first, and eventually I will just hire someone to clean the site. The number 7 one, this one you see the color is really different. It's a blue mouse. Look at the color. It's bluish. And in the spring and late autumn, it can turn purplish. It's quite beautiful too. It's the similar thing with the golden mouse, but I prefer the golden mouse more. How about you? Leave your comment if you like, please. Well, thank you for watching my video. Hopefully what I share here is useful to you. If you like my video, please give me a thumb up. And don't forget to subscribe the channel. Thank you for your encouragement and bye for now. See you next time.